Jose here from Train Me Please. The Look at That game can be super helpful for dogs that are uncomfortable with certain situations or things in their environment. Today, we explore some of its advanced concepts. Let's go! Do you know the general idea of Leslie McDevitt's Look at That lat game? If not, do not worry. We will cover its basic ideas and we will then explain some complementary considerations that will turbocharge these procedures. Basically, this game teaches the dog that when in the presence of something potentially scary, they do not need to react by lunging or barking and can instead indicate the scary thing to us. The dog looks at the thing, looks back at us, and gets a cookie. The reactivity behaviors can be triggered by other dogs, people, bicycles, trams, motorcycles, etc. I believe it was Ken Ramirez that said that the Look at That game is an elegant counter-conditioning procedure with an operant base. The Look at That game allows us to change the emotional response of the dog. We can go from a situation in which the dog is afraid of the trigger to one in which the dog wants those things to actually show up because he likes to play the Look at That game. This procedure offers us instant information about the dog's threshold, and once properly learned, the triggers become cues for the dog to indicate to us. Now, I don't know about you, but I much rather have a dog indicating a stimulus to me and playing a quick and fun Look at That game than to have one that is lunging, barking or growling. The Look at That game is super helpful when the dog needs help processing information about the environment. Something new, something potentially scary, something that is too close, or perhaps something that is changing in location or speed. Here are 6 suggestions that will allow you to make the best of the Look at That game. 1. Start really easy early on before progressing to more realistic situations. One elegant way to introduce the game to your dog is as part of mat training and using a neutral object. When the dog orients towards the object, mark the behavior and offer reinforcement. 2. Practice with a dummy or stuffed dog. This is obviously mainly valid if your dog is uncomfortable with other dogs. Using a stuffed dog can be helpful to your dog, but even more importantly, it can be super helpful for you to practice your mechanics before you move to a real-life scenario. 3. Reinforce different head turns towards the trigger. Sometimes a full look and other times reinforce more subtle ways of indicating where the stimulus is. A partial look, a head tilt, or even orienting with your ears. Before we get to the remaining ones, could you quickly hit the like button under the video? Extra points if you do that and subscribe to the channel. Now, back to the suggestions. 4. Introduce a cue for the dog to look at the trigger. For example, where's the dog? Or where's the person? 5. If you want your dog to greet or approach someone, end the Look at That game first. You can cue go say hi. With that said, you might very well not want your dog to go greet someone. I often don't, and that is totally fine. 6. Avoid playing the game if there are low chances of success. If there are lots of things going on, if you can't control the distance to the trigger, if your dog is over threshold, or if there's an off-leash dog running towards you, this is not the game to play. Depending on the situation, you might probably just try to get out of there as quickly and efficiently as possible. You can use treats or even the 1, 2, 3 pattern game and just get out of there. Bonus tip. Use the Look at That game in combination with many other pattern games. Here is a list of some games and procedures that you could explore and that would be amazing when used in combination with the Look at That game. I do not have time in this video to explain all of them in detail, but I will give you a brief description of some of my favorites in just a second. But first, if you wish to show your support for the content that I offer here on YouTube every month, one easy and fun way to do so would be to buy me a coffee. It is super simple. Follow the link in the description under the video. To do the Look at That as part of mat work, Your dog first needs to learn to calmly lie down on a mat. You can then slowly progress to do some sessions outdoors in a calm location. One great idea for this is to use a cone as a reference for the helper to walk up to. When there, your dog gets some delicious treats, and we then pause when the helper goes away. As a progression, we can wait for the dog to look at the helper for us to mark with a click or yes and offer some treats. To play Superbowls, you will need several bowls. I like these simple, colorful ones. Basically, every time the dog looks at you, you click or say yes and move to the next bowl and place a treat in it. You can also integrate the look at that game as part of this predictable game. For example, the dog looks at the trigger, looks back at you, and gets a yes and treat in another bowl, ideally one that is located further from the trigger. The predictability of these games makes it much easier for the dog to deal with potentially scary or exciting things. I definitely recommend that you consider getting a behavior consultant to help you one-on-one and to read one of Leslie McDevitt's books. More info in the description under the video. You will now be equipped with many advanced concepts for the look at that game. But you know what else you need? You need to get really good with the basics. This video here explains all the basic concepts of the look at that game. Um grande abraço, pessoal. Até à próxima.